All right, so the title of this one is You Don't Need Anybody. And I know, that sounds a little harsh, doesn't it? But trust me, stick with me here, because getting a handle on this idea, it can be one of the most powerful shifts you ever make. Just think about that for a second. We're so often told that we need people for everything, for support, for motivation, just for someone to, stay. But what if that very idea, the one that has you waiting around for someone else, is the exact thing that's keeping you from moving forward?
And that leads us right into what we can call the dependency trap. It's this subtle feeling that our progress is tied to someone else showing up. It's a trap we all fall into sometimes, and we don't even realize how much it's quietly putting the brakes on our own lives. I mean, this is such a classic example, right? You're all hyped up to go to the gym, but then your friend cancels. And just like that, because your plan was linked to them, your motivation just evaporates. Your own goal just became dependent on someone else's schedule. Or what about this one? You have this amazing, inspiring chat with someone and you feel like you're on top of the world. But that feeling, it's kind of borrowed. The second they're gone and you're alone again, that external boost fades and you feel empty, just waiting for that next hit of motivation from somebody else.
And this one, this might be the most dangerous form of dependency of all. It's that thought, oh, I'll start my project, I'll chase that dream when I find the right people to do it with. And just like that, you've put your entire life on pause.
So here's the bottom line. The second your progress, your happiness, your goals are all tied to what other people do or don't do, you're not in the driver's seat anymore. You've literally handed over the keys to your own life. And that's a really vulnerable place to be.
But, and this is the important part, the good news is you can absolutely take that control back. It all starts with this one fundamental shift in how you see things, a shift towards self-reliance. Let's break down what that actually looks like.
It really is this simple, but so profound. We're kind of trained to always ask, who's got my back? Who's there for me? The real game changer is when you flip that script and start asking, wait a minute, can I rely on myself? It's about realizing that you can have your own back.
And this is why that shift is so powerful. Look, people come and go. People get busy. Life happens. But you are the one constant in your own story. From start to finish, you're always there. Your goals are always there.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Because it's not just about thinking differently. It's about doing things differently. Let's get practical and break it down into a simple 4-part toolkit that you can literally start using today. So these are our 4 pillars. First, we're going to actively build self-reliance through taking action. Then, we'll work on untangling our emotions from other people. Third, we'll become our own best support system. And finally, we'll learn to aim our energy only at the things we can actually control. Let's dive in. First up, just start doing things alone. Yeah, it might feel a little weird or uncomfortable at first, but every time you go for that walk by yourself or sit down to work on your goals without a partner, you're proving something to yourself. You're sending a little message that says, I don't need company to get things done. That builds real confidence. Okay, number 2, and this is a big one. You have to stop letting your mood be dictated by someone else's actions. If a late text message can completely derail your day, it means your emotions are basically on a leash held by someone else. The goal here is to learn how to generate your own sense of calm and happiness from the inside. Third, you have to become your own first responder. When something goes wrong, instead of your first instinct being to grab your phone and find someone to fix it or vent to, just pause. Ask yourself, okay, what can I do right now? You have to learn to coach yourself through the tough moments. Be that encouraging voice you're looking for from others.
And finally, number 4, it's all about where you put your focus. You just can't control other people. You can't. So stop wasting all that precious energy trying. Let it go, and instead pour all of that focus and energy into the things you can control. Your effort, your discipline, your own consistency. To make this super practical, here are a few tiny things you can start practicing. Like today, try doing just one small thing alone every day. Or when someone lets you down, practice just waiting 5 minutes before you react. These little actions are like reps at the gym. They build that muscle of self-reliance over time.
So, what's the payoff? What happens when you actually start putting all this into practice? Well, you transform. You really do. You go from this state of needing and waiting to this state of being self-sufficient and, honestly, powerful.
Now, let's be super clear on something. This is not about becoming a hermit or pushing everyone away. Needing people, wanting connection, that's totally natural. It's human. What we're talking about is dependency, that feeling that you can't function without someone else. And that
That is a choice.
I think the biggest fear is that if we stop depending on others, we're going to end up lonely. But the reality is the complete opposite. When your happiness, your stability, your progress all comes from within you, you become powerful. And you start connecting with people not out of neediness, but out of choice. And that is a much stronger way to live.
You eventually get to this place where you realize, you know what? I don't need every single person to stay. I don't need them to approve of me or stick around forever, because my own foundation is solid, with or without them. You stop looking over your shoulder for that pat on the back. You don't need someone else to tell you you're doing a good job or that you're on the right track. You learn to trust your own gut and validate yourself.
And at the end of the day, you realize that the one person you truly need to show up is you. You need yourself to be consistent. You need yourself to be focused. And you need yourself to be in control of your own life.
And that's really the ultimate goal here. When you build that inner strength, that deep ability to rely on yourself, you become incredibly resilient. You become unbreakable, because your stability no longer rests on the shaky ground of other people's choices, but on the solid foundation you've built inside yourself.